Hey Leo, welcome to Aria Moon Tarot, and thank you so much for being here. This is your love reading for anyone with sun, moon, or rising in Leo. It's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If it doesn't, check your other placements. All right, let's get started.
So sapphire is a stone that's known to strengthen the intuition. This is a very, very deep, dark sapphire here. These stones are very dark. So this is known to strengthen the intuition and to bring about spiritual clarity. I'll say it like that. So I feel like your person's higher self is kind of urging them to tap into their spiritual side. It might be that they're feeling these internal nudges or pulls toward becoming more spiritually connected, or listening to their intuition a little bit more, tapping into that intuitive side, ultimately so that they can access the knowledge, the wisdom, the experience from that higher perspective. This is a stone of introspection, of reflection, and I feel like your person's higher self is highlighting the need or the desire for introspection. So maybe we'll see if more of that comes out, because I don't know if this is something that their higher self is letting you know that like this person is tapping into these things, or if this is something that their higher self realizes, hey, you need to use your intuition a little bit more. You need to tap into these higher levels a little bit more. That might be the case. We'll see if we'll get any more messages about that. So what I'm picking up on is that your person might be searching for the right answers right now. Their higher self is kind of aware. I'm feeling like from this energy, because I'm already channeling, and their higher self is very matter of fact, I will say. Their higher self is aware that the answers that they're seeking right now are within them. So this is kind of an indication this person might be looking for answers outside of them, where they're not likely to find them, and their higher self might be aware of that fact. And I feel like there's this little like acknowledgement or encouragement to look within. And this could also be an indication that this person is starting to look within, but we will see what else we get. Now, I am going to do something a little different that I don't usually do, and I'm not going to flip this card. We will flip this card later towards the end of your reading, and we're going to use it as some sort of like advice or guidance when it comes to this connection. This could be additional messages from your person's higher self. But yeah, we're going to scoot that over, and I want you guys to just shout at me to not forget to flip it, because I almost forgot the last time. So you're going to be here with me, help me stay on track and not forget to flip that card. I'm going to begin with some animal spirit energy. And what I want to look at to begin with is, I think I just blew your candle out. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. Okay, so sorry about that. That candle didn't want to light, and things like that, I never really think that they happen by chance. And I feel like this is a message that, like, I think we were on to something there about this person, like their higher self is showing that your person is looking for answers in the wrong places, or that has been a pattern of theirs, to look for answers in the wrong places, to look for satisfaction or fulfillment in the wrong places. And to not be focused on the things that will bring true joy and satisfaction into their life, or true understanding into their life. So I just feel like that candle not lighting back is kind of a symbol of like something not being right, or some knowledge not being revealed, something not being accessible from where we're looking. So very interesting, but not by chance. So let's look at how this person's energy is presenting on a surface level here, and then we're going to do the exact same thing for how this person's higher self is coming through energetically. So on a surface level, we have the crocodile. Okay, I just heard stealthy. As soon as I saw this card, I just heard stealthy. So this person is coming across as somebody who's really good at keeping their feelings hidden and keeping themselves hidden, not exposing all of themselves at once. It's almost like they don't want to show all their cards at once. They don't want to reveal themselves at once. And this is this is their higher self saying this. So I feel almost like this person would be like, no, I don't. Like, that's what I'm here. Like, no, like if you were to actually ask this person, there's some level of them that can't fully admit that this is their, like, this is their approach, or this is how they come across, because their higher self is calling them out and is saying, you keep it all really hidden. You keep everything kind of beneath the surface. You're really stealthy in the way that you move. And I feel like this might be something that they're working on, or something that they're being guided to work on. So, yeah, I feel like to you understand that they keep a lot hidden. They keep a lot, undercover. This might even be somebody that, I hate to say this, but like, if this resonates for you, you know, this might be somebody that maybe they've giving you the feeling that they might be sneaking around sometimes, or that they're doing things behind your back. They're not being fully upfront with, I feel like this really does come down to feelings. Again, water energy here. So this is like them not being fully upfront with their feelings. Yeah. And it's like, you know, they present this way on the surface level, and they might not feel like that, or they might turn this around on you and say, you're the one that doesn't, you're not expressing. It's not them, it's you. I feel like for some of you, there's some dynamic like that in the relationship, because there's like this argumentative energy, but that's why I like channeling the information from the higher self, because they tell me straight up. They tell me like it is. And this person likes to stay hidden. Crocodile energy is also very observant. It's sort of that watch and wait mentality, because the crocodile isn't going to just strike until exactly and precisely when they perceive it to be the right time. So this person might seem like they're held back, or like they're hesitant. There might be kind of this sense that, that they're waiting for something, or that they're waiting to see movement in some area. They're waiting for confirmation of something. Or even that held back feeling, it's even another reference to keeping themselves hidden or covering something up. And almost this feeling of like waiting as long as they can before this will be revealed. And this can really talk about their feelings. I think for a lot of you it does. Waiting until that last minute, holding something back. And I'm almost getting this sense of like, they might wait too long. And I don't even think that that's their energy coming through. That might even be your energy, that like, well, if you wait this long to tell me how you feel, or if you wait this long to fully express yourself, I might not be there. There's this vibe there. Oh, that's their higher self. That's their higher self acknowledging that. That was a message from their higher self. It's like from that higher perspective, they can see that if you wait for everything, you might lose the opportunity. And this even extends beyond relationships. This is like a lesson that they're learning. You can't wait around forever to take that chance, to take that opportunity, to make that dream come true, because your opportunity might slip by. You might just literally run out of time, is how that's coming through. So on the surface, I feel like this could be somebody who goes off the radar sometimes, who disappears. They might tend to pull away or outright disappear, and you don't know where they went at all. I keep returning to this imagery of like burying or submerging feelings. On the surface, they can come across as being withdrawn sometimes. I just have to say, if this person does tend to disappear for long stretches of time, this is the energy of somebody who always checks back in with you energetically, but it's like they do it undercover, they do it behind the scenes. So even if you haven't heard from this person for a long time, or there are times when you think that they've taken their attention away from this connection completely, this is somebody who's going to check your pictures on social media. This is somebody who's going to maybe ask people. It's funny because I feel like now they won't, because they really keep their feelings hidden. So if there's someone in their life that they can get like easy information about what's going on with you, they will, without revealing anything about themselves. But it's like, there's this undercover energy about them. There's this like, I'm going to check in, but they'll never know I'm doing it. I miss them, but they'll never know I do, type of energy. Yeah. They keep returning to your energy. They keep returning to check back in. This might be somebody who's more aware of what's going on with you than you realize, because there is that feeling of them keeping tabs on you, that feeling of looking at your pictures on social media, or getting information from friends you have in common, or seeing you in passing and not always saying something, not always acknowledging themselves. I just have this feeling, and I don't want to be creepy because I'm not feeling like this is creepy energy. I just feel like it's this feeling of they see you and you might not see them type of thing, which does sound kind of creepy. So I apologize for that, but that's not the feeling. It's just, it's this feeling of them wanting to be checked in with you, wanting to be connected with you, but not wanting to be very obvious about it at all. Even I just heard checking you out. I just heard this is even that they check you out in a discreet way because they don't want you to notice that they're doing that. Very interesting. They come across as withdrawn, but there's also this very locked in energy with this crocodile energy here. Very stealthy, very quiet. This can also be somebody who comes across as being reserved, or they're reserved when it comes to their emotions. I kind of feel like there's this energy with the crocodile. A crocodile is very locked in on their prey. So this is just an example, especially for those of you who feel like this person goes dark or disappears or loses interest. It's like they're locked in. They're more engaged than you think. But on the surface, they come across as very, very hidden, very stealthy, not accessible. There's kind of this feeling that this isn't really somebody who misses very much. They're very observant. They're very tuned in. Even if they're quiet or silent, they don't miss much. And there's also this vibe of like them acting very instinctually. And so this can come up a couple of different ways. For some of you, a few different things are happening here with this person at the same time. So I think that this person feels very instinctual toward you. They have a natural instinct to move toward you. This can also suggest a lot of physical attraction in this connection. They feel naturally drawn toward you. And at the same time, their natural instinct. So we're talking about instincts here. They feel the instinct and the impulse to move closer to you. And at the same time, they feel the natural instinct to hide or to wait or to want to be sure about something, to hold on to this sense of like, I'm protected until I say this type of energy, and then I'd be exposed, so I don't want to risk that. That is definitely coming through as a surface level. So let's look at the energy of their higher self. We have the Cobra. I'm laughing because that's just too weird. That's just too weird. Those are very similar energies, and I see the difference at the same time. I see why this is the energy of the higher self. So I feel like are you kidding me? The Cobra, this energy, it's so similar to the crocodile in many ways. The Cobra does represent protection. Crocodile has strong protective instincts as well. And this is, again, with the Cobra energy, again, a very stealthy energy. So I kind of get the feeling that your person's higher self is acting like a mirror for some of that more surface level energy. Their higher self's asking them to be both the student and the teacher here. So they are going through something here. They're going through this phase of needing to serve both of those roles in their life, and they're asking themselves really to observe their own patterns here. I feel like they're being asked to kind of pull inward and be really, be in that role of the curious student that asks questions. Especially, I'm picking up on questions about this need to remain unseen or to remain protected, to remain guarded, or this desire to kind of keep parts of themselves hidden. So this person might be quite introverted. They might kind of be going through a time where this more introverted or introspective energy is being called upon, because this inward energy, it's almost hermit-like energy, to be honest. It's showing up on both the surface level and on these higher realms of consciousness. So it's showing up as the higher self and the surface level. And it's just so interesting because in the beginning of the reading, and especially with that whole candle incident, this is like, we were talking about maybe looking for answers in all the wrong places, and that what I was channeling from this person's higher self is their higher self knows that the answers are within them. So mirroring this energy is key here, because that's how we really look at ourselves with a mirror. Stop looking outward, look in. And I feel like on a higher self level, on that realm of consciousness, they're trying to figure all of this out. They're trying to stop looking for answers and trying to stop looking for things to cover up emotions, to cover up hurt, to cover up pain, and start actually exploring and experiencing that, looking inside for those answers. So again, that hermit energy, that is crazy. That is crazy how that came through. Yeah, I feel like they're kind of asking, oh, this higher being is asking and encouraging them to ask questions and observe themselves. I feel like it's interesting to note that both of the animals that showed up to represent your person's energy, both on a surface level and their higher self, are animals that I associate with a period of waiting or studying and reflecting before they make that sudden strike. Both of these animals act like that. So that's what's so weird about this. They wait, they observe, they're locked in, and then they strike. And that can represent sudden movement or sudden growth as well. So I feel like there's something this person wants to understand. And this could be centered around understanding the reason for guarding their hearts the way that they do. The reason for, I didn't mean to say that plural, it's because it's a general reading. So guarding their heart, the way that they do, the reason that they might have their sights set on something, but still be afraid to strike at the same time. This person's higher self is saying that their sights are set on this connection. Their sights are set on this deeper feeling that they've had, but they're afraid to strike at the same time. So it's this interesting dynamic of, I want that. I know I do. That's for me. I know it is. I'm not going to take it. And then they're questioning why. So this is recurring in their life. Their higher self showing me that this is recurring. That mirror is being held up and the questions are being answered, being asked, I should say, they're in the process of trying to find that answer. They want to understand. Yeah, I feel like the encouragement here is it's like encouraging to strike even more. Even I just heard strike up a conversation. So for some of you, this might be something really new. And it's like, they're not in this place of wanting to act. They're scared. And there's this like encouragement, strike, take your shot. Their higher self is encouraging them to take more action. I feel like the cobra is poised and ready to strike. You see, like when a snake's head is reared up like that, they're ready to strike. But there's like a little bit of questioning energy here, questioning the self, questioning if they need to be protective here, questioning if that protection is really necessary. Is it really beneficial, or is it standing in the way of something that could be deeper and that could be more immersive? That's the question here. I feel like there was something in there and I kind of lost it. So hopefully that comes back to me. Let's get kind of the energy that ties these two areas of themselves together. This 3D self, I'm calling it, and this higher self. I feel like this person, like their higher self, would say that on some level they're ready. Because I do get more of a ready to strike energy from the cobra. And their higher self is ready for this growth. Their higher self is ready for this evolution. It's their 3D self that's resistant, which is often the case. But I just feel like these energies are so similar that it's really, there's something that's being resisted on the surface level. There's something that's being resisted in the 3D. We have protecting treasure, card 39. This is talking about where this disconnect is. The disconnect is in protecting this this very vulnerable part that's inside of them. It's that heart-centered energy. This is reminiscent of reading 1, but what I think is happening here is there's collective energy around this fear and this protection here. So it has showed up in the other readings. This treasure that they're referring to as themselves is this this tender part of themselves. I almost want to say it's their inner child for a lot of you. This person is protecting this really tender part of themselves, and it's like what is keeping them from striking is that protection. But now it's forcing them, their higher self is questioning them. Their higher self is saying, please look at this. What are you really protecting? And is that necessary here? Do you need to be this protected? Or can you share your treasure? Can you open up that treasure chest and let somebody else poke around in there and see what's in there? Maybe they have a treasure chest of their own, and maybe we can combine our treasure. Like, I feel like this is what's coming through from this person's higher self. Maybe that protection isn't necessary. Interesting. Let's get some tarot messages. Wow. Strength coming out on its side. I'm going to take it in the upright here. I want to make note of this energy because the strength card is a lot about our inner strength, our inner will, and the courage that we're cultivating here. And this card coming out this way, it really feels like, it's like, should this be reversed? Should it be upright? And I think that's a wobble in their energy. That's that question. Do I need to protect myself here? Or do I need to cultivate the strength to be vulnerable, to be exposed, to let myself be seen, to let it be known? I feel like for you guys, what's really important and what's showing up here is that this person might be someone who's not ever revealed the depth of their feelings to you. This could be a connection where these feelings have not been made known yet. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse, the Four of Cups in reverse, and we have the Two of Wands. Just as I was saying that, the Ace of Swords in reverse makes me think about communication that was cut off, makes me think about maybe ideas that aren't being shared, and almost like I'm getting also this internal energy, like this energy of ideas swirling around inside but never being released, never being expressed, never being shared. So yeah, their higher self is highlighting, pointing out that this person keeps a lot hidden and keeps a lot inside. They don't say everything. They don't, it's not complete. They don't show all their cards. There is this desire and this push toward moving to this place of inner strength, moving to this place of being strong enough to be weak. Being strong enough to be vulnerable. It takes a real strength to admit that you're scared, that you don't want to get hurt, that you have these deep, tender, gushy kind of feelings. That takes strength. And I feel like this person, it's like their higher self is pointing out that they're going through a journey of discovering how to find the strength in that weakness. How to because it's like they wore this armor. Like you see how like both of the animals that came out representing them, they're like these scaled animals. It's like they're wearing armor. They're very protective. So it's like they've been wearing this armor, thinking that was a show of strength, thinking that was going to protect them and that was going to do the trick. And it's like really. Actually, they're starting to see, or the lesson here is stripping away that armor is actually the greatest show of strength. Letting that inner strength shine forward is actually what's needed here. Yeah. The Four of Cups in this reversed position can talk about having a new direction, taking a new option. It also, to me, is speaking of things that we don't want anymore, things we don't want to accept anymore, things we don't want to do anymore, ways we don't want to behave anymore. Because this is a Cups card, this can tie directly to our emotions. I'm not sure if we talked about I should stop going off on tangents because I'll forget what I was talking about. But we have water energy here, fire energy with the Cobra. Just throwing that out there in case astrological signs are important to you in this connection. Leo energy here with the Strength card as well. So more fire energy there, and also with the Two of Wands. But we're looking at Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy with that. We also might be dealing with Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy here. Well, we've got air. We've got a lot of air here too. So this could be an air sign. I'm not going to name all the signs. The Four of Cups can talk a lot about things like choices we don't want to make anymore, options we don't want to take anymore. And because this is a Cups card, it's tying back to our emotions. So that's what made me think about this crocodile energy, this water energy. This could be like, I feel like this is this person's higher self talking about the deliberation that's going on here. What choice do I want to make when it comes to my emotions? Because here's this cup being offered to me. And you see, even in this Four of Cups, this person's looking at the cup. And a lot of Four of Cups, this person doesn't look in the direction of the cup at all. So this is like an option that you're thinking about taking, is how I'm reading this card. And it's like, this is the easy option as far as I'm concerned. And this person is questioning that. Their higher self is guiding them to question that. Should we take the easy option here, the familiar option? Because that cup that's being offered is, this is how you would typically handle this. This is how you would typically use your emotions, display your emotions, hide your emotions, whatever might be in that cup for this person. And it's like it's in reverse. They're starting to question, is that what I want to do? Is that how I want to express? I just heard, okay, yeah, the messages are coming through directly, like it's just channeled directly from your person's higher self. And I don't know if I want to talk in the first person, but this is how the message is coming through. It's like, it's this, it's when I said, is that how I want to express? And what their higher self is saying is that typically they don't express a lot. So it's really a question of, do I want to express? Should I hide these feelings anymore? Should I do what I always do, or should I do something different? I want to look at the bottom of the deck. We have the Eight of Wands. I love that. I love that because the Eight of Wands talks about speed, and it can also talk about communication, but this is a lot about speed, forward momentum, quick action. And that's that striking. That's that energy of striking. I feel like taking that card out, not leaving it at the bottom of the deck. That's that energy of a sudden strike. And that's what I was saying with this energy here. This can really allude to massive growth that seems to come on really quickly because this person is positioning themselves. They're learning, they're observing. And it's like once they figure something out, they're very quick to take action. They might be a fire sign. Wheel of Fortune under that. Eight of Pentacles. So we're talking about work here. I can't ignore the Ten of Pentacles under that. I'm going to leave that as bottom of the deck energy, but Ten of Pentacles is about having it all and the work paying off, especially following Eight of Pentacles, which talks all about us putting our heads down and getting the work done. And this doesn't have to be referring to our jobs. This can be about the work that we're doing on ourselves, the patterns that we're noticing in ourselves and what we're working toward. And then for that to be followed with the Ten of Pentacles, it's like, there's something about what they're doing here that I think is putting them on the right track, and their higher self is acknowledging that they're on the right track about something here. They're on the right track in the direction that they're trying to work. The Wheel of Fortune talks about events maybe turning in our favor, good fortune, good luck, having the right inclination at the right time. I was going to leave it, but I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So we will take that card out. I feel like there's massive growth here. There's some giant leap forward here for this person. Let's get into this Messengers of the Heart deck, because this is a really good deck to get channeled messages from. And this is, again, from the perspective of this person's higher self. So their higher self might even highlight some of the things that are on this person's mind in a more 3D way, in a more I want to say in a more physical way. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but more of this crocodile energy, more of this energy that they're consciously operating in on a day-to-day basis. This can bring up some of the concerns. Anxiously waiting. We're talking about the cobra and the crocodile both having that energy of waiting before they strike. And there is an anxious feeling with that when I tap into it, because they've got their eye locked in on something. There is this feeling of like, I really want that. I really want that. But they're waiting. We're talking about that watch and wait energy. That's what this is about. This card actually says that they're searching for you in everything. They feel you everywhere. You're always in the back of their mind. You're always someone that they're hoping to run into, or someone that they're hoping to establish a connection with, is that kind of energy here. And we have wishing well. Yeah, excitement in the air. That's that anxious energy, excitement, awakened to a new life. Like there's something that you have awakened within them. There's so many possibilities here. I feel like this person wishes that they could make these changes and these adjustments sooner. And that's kind of the message coming through with their higher self. It's like, I wish I could do this more effortlessly. I wish I had come to these conclusions a lot quicker. I wish I had said what I needed to say back then instead of waiting. I want to get more of these messages. Waiting is a huge theme in this reading. What are they waiting for? We have separation. You have separation here. This came out in another reading too. So you might be in separation with this person. And as I was saying that, what are they waiting for? There's this part of them, I think, if you are in separation with this person, that's waiting for the separation to end, which is very interesting energy, because it's like they have power to end this separation, but there's a part of them that's waiting for something to happen to indicate that there has been an end to the separation. And even with this wishing well card, it's like they're wishing that something would happen that would end the separation, that would make this easier for them. Leap of faith. Wow. That's the strike. I feel like and I didn't get messages like this in the other reading, but I feel like when this person strikes, it's because they're taking a leap of faith. They're going out on a limb. And it might seem like it comes out of nowhere. I don't know why their higher self is giving these types of messages. There might be some kind of encouragement that's needed here, because I wasn't getting this type of message about like a future action, but I feel like they're going to take a major leap of faith here. And it can just come out of nowhere. It's like when they're ready to strike is when it happens. The leap of faith card says they didn't expect this love to run this deep. And it's like they're putting their pride aside to take this leap of faith. I can't imagine my future without you in it. Let's get another message. Wow. That's something you wait for. A future that you can't see that future without that person. That's probably why they're in this waiting energy. These cards don't want to. It's okay. It's okay. Just be crazy. Just be crazy. Let's see. Vulnerability isn't easy for me. Wow. And I feel like that is so true, that by nature this person is guarded. We were talking about like these animals being scaled. They have like rough exteriors. They're hard to get to. They're hard to understand. And it's like, it's just not easy for them. They feel sometimes like it's just not in their nature to open up, to be vulnerable, to expose themselves, to show these deeper levels of themselves. I feel like we are a perfect match. Wow. You might even mirror each other in that way. You both might have kind of the tendency to be more guarded. I'm going to get one more message. And it's like, in some ways they feel like you might be able to relate to them, or like they can relate to you in some ways. It still feels like it's challenging for them to open up, even if they think that you might understand that part of them on some level. You might not understand why they brought that energy to this connection, but you might understand. You might understand the feeling a little bit. I don't want to let this go. Yeah. that's repeated energy. I can't imagine my future without you in it. I don't want to let this go. But at the same time, being vulnerable isn't easy for me. But I've got my eye on you. I've got my eye on you. I've got my sights set on this. That's how that's coming through. Let's flip over your card now. This can be advice, messages, further guidance about this connection. We have full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. This is something deep. It runs deep for them. It is a personal issue for them. More water energy with this full moon in Cancer. Very watery, very emotional energy with full moon in Cancer. And it's like, I feel like when they get this sorted out, that's that strike, that's that sudden movement, that's that 8 of Wands energy. That sudden momentum that propels them forward, because this is about going within. That's why their energy's mirrored here, because this is all about looking within, a personal issue. This is all about looking within. Wow. Okay. I want to end your reading with some goodies. I have a bowl full of goodies here, and this has a lot of things in it. It has letters, numbers, astrological signs, months of the year, things like that. And I do find it interesting, like when I'm channeling from a person's higher self, the messages come through very much in symbols. So this portion of the reading can be very symbolic if there is something here that resonates for you. But at the same time, the messages they're pretty vague and honestly difficult for me to interpret, because it might be something that really just strikes a chord with you and has something to do specifically with your connection. So take what resonates here, leave the rest. It's interesting to see what comes out, and this can even sometimes be something to keep in mind, because it might not be something you've seen yet or anything that's happened yet, but it might turn out to be significant in this journey or in this connection. So we'll see what happens. We have Pisces energy here. We have Aries energy here. We have the number 6. These numbers, they can represent a birth date. They can represent a date that you like met this person, or a significant date in this relationship. Numbers that you've seen in connection to this relationship or on repeat. Sometimes for me, it's even a reference to like a month. So maybe June here. Interesting. Oh, and we have May. It's funny because I was thinking of the 5th month. Interesting. I was thinking of the 5th month, and then we had May come out, but May 6th could be significant to some of you. It doesn't have to be May 6th, but a 6 may be significant. We also have Leo energy here. We had Leo energy show up with the Strength card. We have the number 4. We have the letter H. We have Scorpio energy here. April with 4, so the 4th month. April 4th, April 6th. Cancer energy, which we had with the full moon in Cancer. So that's definite confirmation of this emotional issue and also this personal issue that they are working on. The number 5, 4, 5, and 6. The letter U, the letter J. Some of these, let's see, and I might pull a couple more. For some reason, the U really stood out, and I think that was a reference to them saying, like, you, it's always been about you, because there's this feeling of it being really locked in. Like, they're very locked in, very focused on you. January, and E also coming out. These could be initials. I'm also seeing he. And that, I just heard that could be the start of someone's name may start that way, H-E. Very interesting. So yeah, look that over. See if there's anything that resonates for you in those messages, any initials that jump out or dates that jump out. And also, if something does catch your attention, this could be something that is going to come up, something that you can look forward to. We did have only we had 2 months. We had January and April come out. So this could be referencing important events regarding like when you met this person, or major movements in your relationship that has already occurred, or things that you have to look forward to. So this could be something coming up in January. I'm also seeing a date range here, January to April. So for some of you, that might be a significant date range, but it also might be giving you just kind of a span of time about when you might see this movement, because this was unusual in terms of giving so much about this sudden strike or talking about future actions that this person may take. So it could be that an action is taken or a significant action was taken in this connection from January to April. Very interesting there. Very interesting. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me channel this energy. If you did enjoy this reading, if you received any messages, anything that was helpful, which I really hope you did, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and hit subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye.